Foster Triplets, and we are in the beautiful country of Zimbabwe. Makadini, that's how I'm supposed to say it, right?
Hello.
I hope it's hello or how are you in this language. But we will find out about that very, very soon because we'll be speaking about culture as well as some very important greeting
And mannerisms.
And mannerism in the Zimbabwean culture. And to help us with that, we have a very, very, very special guest with us today who will be sharing her name because I am not responsible for that today. She is affectionately called by the three of us Aunty Loveness. However, she has a specific way that her name will be called in this culture. So, our dear Aunty Loveness, can you introduce yourself to the viewers?
Hello everyone, my name is Mai Chimuka.
Mai Chimuka. And is this Mai Chimuka a part of your name? Is that your first name?
No, it's not my first name. So in our culture, in our Shona culture, we call the mom or the dad Mai Chimuka and the dad Baba Chimuka, meaning Mai meaning mother and Baba meaning father.
Okay.
Yes, so it's mother Chimuka if it's in English. Yeah, so we say Mai Chimuka.
And you have children, so you are Mai Chimuka, and mom, you have children, so you are Mai Foster.
That's right.
So
I can't go around saying my name is Mai Foster.
No, you can't do that.
Absolutely not.
You cannot do that. So at first, I thought it was Mrs. At first, honestly, I thought Mai meant Mrs. And now I know that Mai means mother and Baba means father before the last name. So I can't go around saying Mai Loveness.
Yes.
It would be wrong. So I have to say Mai Chimuka.
Yes.
Okay, we are very, very excited because we have been enjoying Zimbabwean culture to the fullest. And we found something very interesting. You know, I have gained a couple pounds while I'm here. Well
She
fed.
has.
Well fed.
Couldn't fit into the skirt.
and we found something interesting. We noticed that the way that people eat is a little bit different, and I'm not only speaking about the food and how you eat the food, meaning if you use utensils or no utensils, but the eating order is different. So generally in American culture and some other cultures, mostly Jamaican culture as well, we have the children eat first and then the adults. Because you're saying the children, them hungry, man. The children are hungry, so we have to feed them. But we found a very interesting and really it's something to look up to at the same time, because I feel like it really causes respect to be garnered in children. So, Aunty Loveness, this eating order is different in Zimbabwe rather. How is it? How is it done?
Okay, so in our culture, adults eat first.
Okay.
Yes, and then the youths follow, and then the children. Why that is so? It's to foster respect in the children, so that they respect their elders to go first, and they also learn to serve the elders, the adults first, and then they also learn patience. Yeah, to be patient. Even if you're really, really hungry, you know, you can be patient and wait for your turn to come. Yes.
That is so interesting. Bahari, do you have a question for Aunty Loveness? So how do you greet people when you see them on the street and you know how are you doing? How do you greet people?
Nowadays, because of COVID, we like shaking hands is rare. So or in time past would greet, right?
Okay.
Greet, and if we're both standing, I'll go Makadi Malaika.
Okay.
Yes, and Malaika would answer back and say Triple Makadi. I'm well also. In response, yeah, saying that I'm also well.
Also.
In response, so you also clap in response. Yes.
And do men clap differently?
Yes, they do it differently. I'm not really good at that, so I'll just.
Appears I'm
like
not
that.
good at it either.
Yes, so this is how they do it.
So I know that clapping is a part of your culture. Is there any specific part of clapping that has to do with respecting someone who's older or someone who you just respect on a whole? Who do we generally clap to?
We generally clap to those that are older than us,
Okay.
yes, those that are older than me, I'll clap first.
You
Yes.
come first.
When I greet them, I'll clap first. Like if it's my aunt, we call Aunt Tete here in Shona culture. So I'll say Magadi Tete first, and then in return she'll say Wakadi ako mzukuru, mzukuru meaning me, in terms of the relation back to me. So I'll do it first. So the younger does it first to the elder, and then the elder returns the greeting.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting.
That's interesting. So how many languages do you have in Zimbabwe?
We have Shona, we've got Ndebele, we've got Tonga, we've got I think that's about it.
And English.
Okay, and English.
So,
And English. But Shona has also different dialects. Like you've got Zezuru, you've got Karanga, you've got Manyika. Yes.
So in different areas of Zimbabwe, there is a more there's a different dialect of Shona.
Shona, yes.
That's interesting.
Okay,
interesting.
so do you have a national dish?
A national dish.
Yes.
Well, I think our common national dish is sadza.
Sadza.
Yes.
Sadza.
I
It's
have been privileged to eat sadza.
yes.
Aunty Loveness, what
Yes.
exactly is sadza? What is it made from?
Sadza is made. It can be made out of like our base are grains. Okay. So we've got different grains. We've got millets. We've got sorghum. We've got maize. We also mill our traditional rice into a meal, and then we cook sadza with that.
I
Yes.
see.
So you have the different variations.
Oh wow! And I happen to know that you produce these grains, and you make it into millet.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes, we make it into millets meal, and sorghum meal, and rice meal, and no, we don't do corn meal. Yeah, so we do those four.
may I have a look at one of those, please?
Okay.
Let me just bring it closer so that
Alright.
it can be seen.
So Aunty Loveness here is a businesswoman.
Yes.
And you can see her products here. And
The Grain Hub.
the Grain Hub.
Yes.
Interesting name. We went to the Boma. Remember, we went to the Boma. You will see a video of that.
About the Boma.
You
We
will
won't
see a
say
video about the
anything.
Boma. We won't say anything about it. And
But-
Aunty Loveness's products were there.
Yes.
It makes up the sadza, right? So
Yes.
the products that she makes, they use it to make sadza. Yes. So people from all around the world were eating that sadza. You need to say thank you to Aunty Loveness because you were eating her sadza. Okay,
You
so
were.
so how is the sadza made?
Okay, so the sadza, we will boil water, and you can measure maybe a cup of the meal, and put it in a bit of cold water first, and make a paste.
Just before I forget, is this the meal that you'd use or one of those?
One of these.
Oh.
This meal, this is the grain.
Oh, so that's the grain.
Yes, this
And
is
this
the
is-
grain, that's the meal.
Oh, and then you grind it into a powder.
Yes, we mill it.
It's called mill,
Milling,
okay.
yeah, we mill.
Okay.
Yes.
So after you put it in cold water and you mix
Make
that,
it a paste,
what do you
and
do?
then pour in the boiling water, a certain amount of the boiling water, and then make it into like a thick consistency, and then put it on top of the stove top, and then it boils. Boils for a certain time, about 15 to 20 minutes, depending on the grain. Yes. So for us to know that it's fully boiled, as we're growing up, I was taught that it brings out a certain aroma. Yes, that it's done, it's cooked enough, it's boiled enough. And then after that, you then put in more mealie meal,
Right.
inside more mealie meal, and then you make it into a much thicker porridge. And then you leave it on the stove top for a while, reduce the heat so that it simmers. And it also gives off a certain aroma, and to let me know that, okay, the simmering is enough, yeah.
Oh,
I
that's
just love to
interesting.
watch her when she's mixing it.
I think you can actually gain some muscle by mixing.
Yes. With that wooden spoon.
Yes.
Yes. So we're also learning that there's a lot of variety in terms of carbohydrates
Yes.
here because in Jamaica, of course, it's the flour, the cornmeal, the
The whole
rice,
wheat, the
or
rice.
the whole wheat flour and
Ground
stuff like
All the
that.
ground provisions.
Yes, but here we're
But
seeing
here,
Of course, they have other ground provisions, but different types
Of
of
millet.
millets,
I mean, grains.
grains.
I was impressed.
Yes,
Very-
indeed. So speaking of which, in regards to food, I recognize that the food is how do I put it? The food is unique, and I also recognize that the fruits and the different ground provisions, they are very, very interesting. There's this fruit. It's called
African chewing gum you're talking?
African chewing gum that we tried recently, and that was quite interesting. The end the end product tastes like the trash of sugar cane
Yes,
after
that's
you're
true.
finished chewing it.
Yes,
That's
yes.
yes.
Yes,
that
Yes.
was so interesting for me.
I had some this morning.
Oh, you did.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Really?
Wow.
Mom is being changed into a what do we call a Zimbabwean Jamaican?
A Jamzim?
Or a
Jamaican.
A
Jamaican.
Okay, so mom is a Jamaican now, everyone. Yes. Amen. Okay. I noticed that with sadza, you eat with your hands.
Yes.
And is this something that you do predominantly in Zimbabwe? Is it just your hands that you use, or do you also incorporate utensils such as forks, spoons, knives into your eating?
When it comes to sadza, we use our hands.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so I cannot use my fork with sadza. That's a
I
no-no.
saw you use your fork with salsa, and that's a no.
I apologize, and I learned, and I used my hands afterward.
Okay.
Yes, so you can't
You-
fault me now.
So there are certain foods that you use your hands, and then there are certain foods that you use utensils with.
Because of the modern culture coming in, things like rice and potatoes and all that, we now use forks and spoons. But traditionally, we used our hands.
Okay.
Even now, for me personally, I think you saw me when I was eating. I
Yes.
think was it rice and yesterday I think
Yeah,
at the
what was the name of that
the
restaurant?
Dusty Road
Dusty Road.
restaurant. Yes, I was using my hands both with the sadza and the rice.
Me
For
too.
me, it tastes better.
Yes, me
More
too.
authentic.
Yes, it tastes better for me to use my hands. Yes. Yeah.
So we recognize that it depends on your culture, and when you embrace your culture, it somewhat feels just awesome to hold on to that culture. And I realized when I had the salsa and I dipped it, it did taste better
They taste better than on
than
your
using my
fork.
fork.
Yes,
It's
it's
true.
true. It's true.
Yes,
I have to admit.
It did.
Okay.
So Aunty Loveness, when we went to your factory, the grain hub, I saw some lovely ladies, and they were beating the grains in mortar.
Yes, a traditional mortar.
Oh,
Yes.
and I also heard that doing that.
Pounding.
Yes, the pounding. It's very important. They said, I think someone told me that that's very important as a woman, that you have to be able to do it. It's important that you do it. You know how to do it before you're married.
Yes, traditionally, because our lives were in the village before, so that was done by women. Yes, as they prepared the grain for the meal. Yes, so they would pound to remove the husk, the thick hard layer that protects the grain. So pounding removes that husk, and then after they've removed the husk, they wash the grain, they dry it on the sun, and then after that, traditionally we used to have a big flat rock. They used to have a big flat rock and then a small, almost roundish rock. So they would put the grain there, and then they would grind the grain with that rock, making it into flour for sadza. They didn't have mills.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. And Aunty Loveness, upon visiting your factory, you explained to us that you marry traditional practices along with more progressive practices to create this amazing product. How exactly do you marry these two great practices to make this product?
Okay, so we maintain the traditional practices to keep the fiber of the product, and to also maintain the aroma when we roast the products, so that we don't remove the essential parts of the grain. So the pounding makes sure that we just remove the husk and we maintain the fiber in the grain. So when we roast it, it comes out with the aroma that it's supposed to come up with, and the nutrients, we preserve them as well.
Wow.
Sometimes the machines will remove everything. Yes. So that's why we merge the two processes here.
So sometimes that fiber is missing in other processes when other people process these
Yes.
grains, and so you keep the traditional method as a part of the
preservation of the grain in
Yes.
its full state.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
That's
I like the
amazing.
thought, the aroma is there.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
I like that.
Yes.
So in terms of pounding the grain, you mentioned earlier that ladies who wanted to be married needed to know how to pound that grain.
Yes.
So Mahari, do you know how to pound grain?
I tried when I went to the grain hub, and the ladies they shook their heads in an affectionate way, saying, "Oh boy, she really doesn't know what she's doing."
It wasn't too bad. It wasn't
Too bad, but it wasn't too good
either.
You're well on your way to marriage, Mahari. Don't worry. It's okay.
It
So
wasn't working. It wasn't working.
we know not traditionally, but it's still practiced. It is still practiced in Zimbabwe. When you're going to get married, the man has to pay dowry.
Yes.
But
You
it's
call it
not
a different
called
word.
dowry.
What is
In
it?
your language.
Yes.
Is it in Debele?
Yes. In
Okay.
Debele we call it lobola.
Lobola, okay.
Yes. In Shona we call it rora.
I want. Oh, you got
You
it.
got it.
It was an accident, but she got it.
She got it.
She got it.
I am so touched right now.
And what exactly is dowry? Is it one big lump sum that is paid, or
Is there a certain
Is it
way of
cattle?
collecting that dowry from the man and his family members? How do you go about that?
So when one of you ladies is ready to get married,
When all three of you are ready to get married.
get that
when
money
the
at
three
one
of you
time
are
and
ready
it's
to get
done?
married,
No one leave.
so when the three of you are ready to get married, you go and tell your aunt, your dead sister, the eldest sister, and you tell her that you have gentlemen that wants your hand in marriage, and your aunt will go to your dad and tell your dad the girls have said that they are ready to get married and they have eligible bachelors who want to marry them, and then your dad will agree or disagree.
So
Yes.
family is a big part of the
Yes,
marriage
of
process.
beginning the process. Yes.
Beginning the process. Wow. So there's more to it.
Yes, beginning the process. So the aunt will obviously request to see the gentleman. Yes, spend time with him, talk to him. She may extend the time period before she goes to see her dad, just so that she has time to get acquainted with the gentleman. Yeah, so that she's sure also. Yeah, and then when she's sure, then she can go and tell your dad. And dad can say yes or he can say no. Yes, wait, or my daughters are still young, my daughters are still going to school. Yes.
I'm still going to school, y'all.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so if dad agrees, then aunt organizes an appointment with dad and the gentleman, and then they come and see dad. Dad can actually then also invite his brothers or his friends to also come over and see these gentlemen.
Oh,
So that everyone also sees them and also has also be able to assess as well.
That's a good
Yes.
that's good practice, yes.
Yeah. Whether are we seeing these gentlemen, are they genuine? You know, how do they dress? How do they speak? You know, just asking them questions. You know, interfacing with them, and then if they're happy, then dad and his brothers sit down and they discuss the dates. Okay, and they tell them, okay, you can come on this date, and then aunt tells the gentleman to come on to also prepare to come on a certain date. And then they also prepare, and then when the date is set, everyone prepares. The Mama Foster prepares
Yes.
the food, makes sure there's lots of food
Yes.
on the day. The aunts come, the uncles come, the grannies, like everyone.
Everyone, so
comes.
the whole family
The
comes.
nephews, nieces, everyone
wow.
comes. Yeah.
So on whose side of the family? Who, all of those people, whose side of the family is it that comes? Is it both sides?
Both Mama Foster and Baba Foster.
Oh.
Everyone comes.
Oh wow.
Yes. From the gentleman's side, they will come with their uncle or their dad or their grandpa. Not many people come from the gentleman's side.
So the gentleman is outnumbered.
Yes.
Oh, he's cornered. He's cornered. This is funny.
You know what I like
love
about it though?
Yes.
So if you were to marry men from Zimbabwe,
Yes.
so my Timoka and Baba Timoka would be the aunt and the uncle that they would have to come through.
That sounds fair.
So that's the example. So if they pass the persons, the three males, then Baba Foster would make the decision from there. Yes, tell me about the Dowry part.
Okay, so we call it Dowry when everyone comes in and sits. The men sitting on the chairs, and the women will be sitting on the floor, and then the in-laws come in, and then they also sit down, and then they clap their hands. They introduce themselves. So before they say anything, then they are told to put in a certain amount in a wooden traditional plate. That will be in the middle. So they're told maybe put $100 in it.
They have to come stacked. They have to come with that money.
Yes,
Wow.
so each family charges different amounts depending on the father and probably his brothers or the mom as well. So they sit down before, and then they put the amounts that they want for that day. So there will be amounts for the mom for giving birth to triplets. She'll put in an amount for herself for doing that.
Yes.
Yes.
That's going to be costly.
Yes, and
And then
then
for
she
the
also
father.
puts in the number of cows that she wants.
Oh.
Yes. And
Can I
also-
put in elephants?
Yes. You know what? I think we'll be putting in elephants. Yes.
I love it.
And Dad also puts in his amount, which is usually the biggest amount. Yes, it's called Rusambo, which is the. So you can have a total figure of the whole order being maybe like 10,000.
That's
And
the US
the
dollars.
father- yes, US dollars. And then the dad will get Rusambo, which is maybe like 5,000 or 6,000 of the amount. Yeah. And mom maybe 3, 4. It depends really. But the mother of triplets will probably get more than 5. And you also put in his own cows, the number of cows the number of cows that he wants for his crown. Yes, we call it Mombenze Danga. So Danga is a crow, where cows.
Yes.
Yes. So he will put in his number of cows that he wants. Normally maybe 6, 8, 10 cows. Yeah.
Times 3.
Wow. Times 3.
Yes, times 3.
You see, I must mention this. Generally, a male or a female, they want a son. But now, this is where I'm happy I have 3 girls.
Yes.
And I must say to the Jamaican men and other Western world, if you're interested in marrying any of these wonderful ladies, we have to discuss dowry.
So Aunty Loveness, she has twins.
Yes.
So she is set. She's
Aunty
ready,
Loveness.
and they're girls.
Yes.
And she has a boy who will sadly have to be paying.
Yes.
But still, I mean, you win. You have 2 daughters, and then plus the
Yes.
price of bearing 2.
Yes.
Oh
my
Oh,
goodness.
Rumbi as well. Rumbi,
Yes.
Rumbi. She has
Rumbi
3
as
daughters.
well.
Yes, Mercy.
Oh,
Rumbi.
And then there's Konashe as well, so he's going to have to pay. Oh
Yes,
no.
he's going to be paying.
Oh my.
Yes.
So I have a question. Is the bride to be there in the whole gathering, or is she not at the gathering where the money is being collected.
So for what happened for me, I don't know for some, but mostly I think the bride to be will be probably maybe outside, maybe with the other young ladies or some of the bridesmaids, yes, outside. But there's a point where she's called in by the elders.
Oh.
Yes, so she's called in by the elders. You come in and then you kneel, and then they'll ask you whether you know the people that have come to pay dowry for you. They'll ask you, do you know them, before we accept any money.
So
Or
consent.
any kind.
Consent.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
good.
So you say, yes, I know them, and they say, okay, fine. And then you go away, and then they'll call you again the second time and ask you how much you also want.
Oh, how much I want?
Yes.
I see.
Yes.
But is it the man going to be left poor, dry, and homeless afterwards?
I mean, what we
You
recognize
know,
is
the guys,
that
the men, he actually save for this.
that's
They-
good.
they are- I don't know, some different length of, time preparing for it. So you really have to prepare for that. Yes.
Ah.
So they inquire sometimes. They can inquire from the aunt or one of the relatives to just ask them. So when ladies from that family getting married, like how much is really charged? Like how many cows are really charged? Like how much money are really charged? So they won't really tell you the exact amounts, but they'll just tell you general estimations. So they'll come at least prepared, or they'll make sure they'll come with at least more.
More than
Yes,
Smart.
more than
That's
that.
very smart.
Yes.
Smart.
So they have to save. So when someone is ready to marry you, they have to start saving, and
I like
putting money
that.
aside. Yeah.
So what we're saying is that I think other people can take note from this is that marriage, going into marriage, you have to be prepared, financially so, and also in other aspects of your life. And so the dowry is saying, I'm able to take care of your daughter.
Yes.
I'm able to take care of your grandchild. I'm able to, to shoulder the responsibilities of having a wife and having a household, having children, if that comes to it.
Yes.
That's very good. That's very good. That's
And what I like about this, the culture, is the fact that everybody's involved. For some cultures, the female and the male decide, I'm going to get married, and the family is excluded. But what I like about this is the stages allow for not just the young lady but the family members to look closely at the person, look at the family, look at different aspects to see whether or not this person is a suitable candidate for the young lady. And I like that.
Yes.
It's very good.
And I do have a question, Aunty Loveness, my Chimuka, in regards to what are Zimbabwean weddings like? Are they traditional, or do they go more of the
White dress, tuxedo.
tuxedo, stuff like that?
So we start with our traditional rora. The rora. The rora is more like, it's actually a wedding. Yes. Because what happens in time past traditionally, actually we do it. So we actually we have combined the traditional and this white wedding. Because when the dowry is finished, where all the money comes in and the cows and things like that, after that, in the village, the bride will stay at home, the groom will go back to their home, and then the aunts and some of the sisters and all, they prepare to take the bride to the groom's homestead, right in the village. So when they prepare, they carry her bags and all those things, and then they get to the homestead. So they don't get in, they remain at the gate, and then they sit at the gate, but they cover the bride. Yes, so she'll be sitting at the gate, and then they cover the bride. So everyone at the groom's homestead, like all the other relatives now that didn't come to the they're now waiting for their bride. So they all then start singing for her and things like that. But they have to give her money so that she stands up and walks to get inside. So she'll stand up, get into the gate, walk a few steps and sit down.
So in
And
order
then
for
they'll
her,
have to give her more money, and then she'll stand up, walk, and she'll sit down. And then they give her more money, and then she'll stand up, walk until she gets inside the house.
So in order
Yes.
for my feet to work, money has to.
Yes.
I'm gonna
My
teach you a trick.
goodness.
Don't walk, please crawl.
Crawl.
Just
It's not faster,
make one
Make,
little
make
step
baby steps, eh?
and just sit.
That's funny.
Another 2 little steps and then you sit.
That's funny.
I'm just kidding, I'm not.
So
Yes, and then you get into the round hut. The round huts. You get inside and you sit down. You are covered. You're still covered. And then I think they pay the last amount, and then the aunties then uncover you. Yes, so everyone sees you, but you don't look anyone in the eye. You'll be looking
looking
Down.
down because elders are there.
Yes,
Okay.
you'll be looking down, and then people are introduced to you, the elders and the important people in the family. They're introduced, and then food is served, and things like that. And then you're given people sing and welcoming you, and then you're given somewhere to sleep with your aunties. And then early in the morning the next day, you go with your aunties and your sisters who are able to help you do the work. Like the next morning. So the next morning, early in the morning, maybe around 4 or 5 before the sun comes out, they wake up early, the bride and the aunties and the sisters, and then they start sweeping. So you bring your stuff for sweeping, your cooking utensils, your pots, everything. And then you wake up early in the morning and you sweep the whole front of the yard.
Yard.
You know how it is in the raw areas, it's like it's all sand. So you sweep the whole yard, you finish, you put water on the fire for everyone. So when everyone wakes up, they'll find water to bath. So you'll be giving them water. So when you give someone water to bath, they give you money.
Oh, I
I love
see.
it.
This is
So you give them water and then they put money. So everyone wants to get water from you, has to pay. So they give you money. Yes, and then you cook this different sadas, especially this one, the gio. This is what's mostly cooked, on the day.
It's
In
white.
the morning.
It's the
No,
white.
The red one.
Oh, the red one.
Yes, the red one. So it's you cook that one, and you cook that one with traditional chicken, maybe a goat or something, but mostly the chicken, the traditional chicken. So you actually come with it when it's alive. You bring it alive and then you slaughter it, just before you cook it, and then you serve the elders of the moms, the grannies, then you serve them with the sadza, and then after you're done, you do the dishes and things like that, and then the aunts and the sisters, they may leave on that day or the next day. Yes, and you may remain behind maybe with one sister, and then the others go back home. Yes, until maybe you feel comfortable to remain alone, then your sister will go back.
So that's
That sounds
interesting.
You
good.
have a support system.
Support system until you feel
Yes.
comfortable.
That
Yes.
is lovely. That is great.
Wow. So you mentioned Aunty Loveness, my Chimuka, that when the bride goes to the home of her groom, she will sit on the floor and has her eyes down, the clapping and so on. So what about the groom? Does he have to do the same thing? Does his whole family that comes with him
Do the same
do the
thing.
same thing? How does it go?
Yes, so when the groom comes with his uncle and maybe his sister, when they come to pay the dowry, they also do the same thing. When they come into the room where the elders will be sitting, they'll come in, they'll sit down, and they also look down. They don't look face to face with the elders, just as a sign of respect.
I see.
So the bride will also do the same thing. And
Okay.
she also goes to
his
the in-laws,
I see.
Yes.
So the difference with this, ladies and gentlemen, is that the groom is losing money and the bride is gaining money. So she will leave with a little something in her pocket. So we were speaking about elders and respect, and when you're serving, it is food. You have to do something, and what is that?
When you're serving food, you have to kneel down. Yes, especially when your elders are sitting. You kneel down and hand over the food to them. If they're standing, then you can just curtsy.
So when we're curtseying, I go down like this.
Yes.
So it's slower.
Yes.
Okay. Don't fall.
Yes.
Okay, I
Yes,
see.
well done.
So we have a lovely array of food right here, ladies and gentlemen. But it's not here to.
I want you to hold it properly, Mahari.
Okay,
Put your
thank
hands
you.
up more in the middle. Okay.
Okay.
Good job.
It's not here for me to eat. It's here for me to serve my elder. And I'm going to serve my chimuka. I'm not serving this elder right here. I'm going to serve this elder right here. So I learned how to do this before. I had to do it a few times in order to get it. But I can safely say that I have learned.
Oh
now.
no! Don't say that before you do it, Mahari.
It's positive thinking.
Okay. Go ahead.
So do my eyes stay up or down? How does this go?
Up, it's fine.
Okay.
Yes.
So and then you go down like this,
Yes.
and is that good?
Yes, well done. Thank you.
Not bad. Not bad.
Thank you.
So that's how you serve your elders food.
Yes.
Okay.
And I
Let me try it for mom. Let me see.
Yes. Try for mom and see.
I hope I do this correctly. I was only watching.
Since you
look like you're about to throw the food over.
Just hold it as if you're holding a regular
Okay,
tray.
tray.
That's right.
I remember
Just hold it
okay,
like
like
regular.
Okay. Kneeling.
Bring it down.
Down,
Miss
down,
Haley.
lower.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Perfect. Nice.
Yes.
Nice. Great job.
Okay.
Great job.
Awesome
Yes.
choices.
Great job.
Awesome attempt.
And you see what I like about this? It is actually teaching respect in a different way to the children and to other younger persons. In some cultures, the elderly, the older persons are shoved aside and treated more like they are a menace. But in this culture, when you're an older person, the elderly person or the elders are treated with respect. And I think that that's one of the problems we're having in our culture now, in our world today. Because there is no demarcation in terms of age, in terms of rank, in terms of anything. So as a result of that, then the young children are not getting the idea that there needs to be some level of respect, because respect is important.
Right.
Very important.
So, my Chimuka, is there anything in regards to culture, in closing, that you'd like to share with us in regards to Zimbabwean culture, such as mannerisms or anything that you'd like to share with us? Yes.
Yes, Mom has been making a sound ever since she came to Zimbabwe.
Oh, that's
An interesting sound.
Mom, could you?
I'll let my Chimoka tell us what
The
the
difference.
name, and then I'll try.
The name of the sound.
Yes, please.
Okay. So the name of the sound is called mururu.
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 Okay, let's.
I got it.
Let's.
Mururu. Yes. So you can make
I
the
got
sound.
Okay, I can
Yes.
make the sound. Okay.
Okay.
I can make it both ways. I can go la 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 la, or I can do la 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 la.
Yes. Well done.
Thank you.
Yes. Well done. So we make that sound when we are happy and we are celebrating.
Ah.
Yes. So when the bride comes, you hear lots of those sounds.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Is there a variation for males?
Males do what we call murizo, like whistling. Yeah, but they do it well. I don't even know how to do it. Yeah.
I see.
Wow.
I
I
let
want
Baba
them to
Foster
do
know.
And that's no clue. That just
Baba Foster said, "Oh no, that's not giving eye contact. Don't choose me." And so we can see that this culture is a very rich culture. It's a culture with a lot of personality that values respect, that values family. It's a culture of great that can take a lot of that can give a lot of insights to other cultures.
Yes.
Yes.
So, as I was saying, my Chimuka, is there anything about Zimbabwean culture that you'd like to share with us in closing?
Yes, about serving our guests. Yes. When I receive guests or when we receive guests, we are mandated to feed our guests. That's
Prince
why I'm so
Malika's
happy
gaining
that you gained weight.
I gained a little right here. I
Yes.
think I'm going back with a little.
Yes, I'll be the best host. I'm the best. Yes, our guests should never go hungry. Yes,
I
yes.
was
No
well
guest
fed.
should leave my house or anyone's house without eating. Yes,
That's a good
food
culture.
has to be served.
We were well fed.
We
We
were
were
well
well taken care of.
Yes.
And we should mention here that she is our host.
Yeah, she's our host.
Yes.
Yes, so we have a saying that goes, "Muyenzi haapedzi dura," meaning a guest will never deplete your storehouse. Yes. So give them food. Feed them. Yes.
Wow. So basically, cast your bread upon the water and it will come back to you.
Yes.
I see.
Interesting.
Yes, and thanks so much to my Chimuka and her lovely husband Baba Chimuka.
Yes.
Okay.
For housing,
Hosting us.
hosting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 5 of us,
Yes.
our family.
And also to the children for giving us a quite interesting stay. Dad,
Most colorful stay. I
most
love it.
colorful stay. They have so much energy.
Yeah.
They
And
have so much
personality.
energy and personality.
I'm telling you.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, I've gotten a very warm welcome from them. I'm going to miss them when I do leave. You know?
Yes, and I think Micaiah has been trying to teach me Shona and it's not really working.
Do you know this word I told you yesterday? The problem is not Micaiah, you know. The problem is Malika. You just start remembering. The problem is me too. And
It's like it's not sinking deep in my mind. I remember Macadini. I cannot remember anything else.
Okay.
So I think I'm disappointed, Micaiah. But I will learn. I will
yes,
learn.
you should learn. Me too. So we had a very wonderful stay at your residence, and also we also had a very wonderful stay in Zimbabwe as well.
Yes, and thanks to my Chimuka and her lovely husband, we were able to see many sights in Zimbabwe. Some that were very scary. Dad swam with crocodiles.
Yes, we'll not talk about that because we
Shall
don't
not
want to
say
give him a
anything
heart
about
attack
that.
right now. But it's okay.
But
It's okay.
we had such a colorful experience in Zimbabwe, and I really would come back again because it's so beautiful.
There was a line in the road, I shall say no more. It was a very interesting stay.
Yes,
Stay tuned to see those videos,
you will be
everyone.
seeing those videos.
Yes.
Thank you so very much for watching this video. Please do remember, if you like our content and you wish to see more, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel.
If you have not. And if you have already subscribed, thank you so much. We are the Foster Triplets and we'll see you next time.